What's up, man? I'm Arlo. It's nice to meet you, dude.
I'm Pickler, man. Friends call me Pat.
Dude,
Most people just call me Pickler.
Your name is fucking cool, dude. Pickler. Like, what's the story on Pickler?
So, in my early 20s, I used to drink pretty heavy coming into the office every day, having a hangover, and I found that pickle juice or vinegar was like one of the best remedies. So I'd walk into work in the morning with a jar of pickle juice or one of those like hot mama pickle in the bags, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one day my coworker Will, and I just walk in, he goes, "Hey, look, it's the Pickler." And so yeah, the name stuck. The drinking didn't, but the name stuck. So
Dude, that's awesome, man. Can I see your Pickler shirt behind you?
oh dude, that's the heavyweight pickle, man.
Dude, that is cool, man.
He's ready to rock. Yeah, normally I have a big mustache to match it, but I recently had to shave, so she'll be back soon.
You sell those shirts?
Yeah, man.
Dude, I'm gonna have to cop one.
Yeah, my merch outlet is down right now, but you can contact me directly and I'll hook you up.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, dude, I'm all about pickle stuff. Lately, my friends and I have been doing like pickle juice, like infused, or like pickle infused like tequila or like vodka.
Yeah.
And it's fucking awesome.
I've been seeing this craze of pickle frenzy going on recently. I don't mind it either. My cat just got like a catnip pickle toy, so my daughter got me this pickle necklace for Christmas. So
Dude,
I guess it's easily obtainable from merch, so
and
slap my name on it.
Dude, for sure, man. Yeah, I'm also my friends and I, like a couple of my friends and I were like into pickled eggs. We're probably the only people in Los Angeles that like to eat pickled eggs.
That's weird. That's not respected at all.
You know, it's just like a classic bar food. And I remember like my dad would go to the bar and come home.
Bar food and where? Fargo?
yeah, probably. I mean, like I grew up in Long Beach, so I know my dad but my dad grew up in the South, and he went to this bar all the time, and he would come home when I was a kid with like a bag of pretzels and some pickled eggs. So yeah, I like pickled
pretzels
eggs.
Are the bar food. They put them on the table so you get thirsty because they dry your mouth out, so you keep ordering more drinks.
Dude, for sure, man. It is a smart business move on the bar's part.
Yeah.
So you're in Chicago?
Yep, Chicago suburbs.
That's awesome, man. Did you grow up out there?
Yep, born in Waukegan, Illinois. Same city that a base station venue is in, if you know where that's at.
Cool.
But in North Chicago suburbs, pretty much my whole life. In between like the border of Wisconsin and Chicago is normally where I've been laying my head.
Dude, what's the bass scene like out there?
Bass scene is bumping out here, man. Especially in the experimental bass music scene is starting to pop a lot. There's a lot of rhythm out here. There's a lot of deep dub. There's a lot of underground deep dub gigs out here at some nice venues too. Chicago's got some nice historical venues too that actively house some nice artists and some direct support. But yeah, Chicago always has shows every weekend during the week. There's free shows somewhere. There's always a show to go to. I know there's a couple spots that an artist, buddy of mine, Software, he's actually on Orphin Records label, and he's got pop-up spots everywhere. And just hit me up, be like, hey, stop in, we'll back to back. And that's actually how I met him, was just at some random back to back. It's one of the best ever in my entire life. Was the first time I met him, and I was like, man, he's the only other dude that showed up. And I was like, I thought I was gonna have these decks for open decks. I walk up, I'm like, what genre are you playing? He's like, deep dub, man. I was like, let's go. And it was just amazing synergy. So, but yeah, there's several spots in Chicago. The scene is bumping up here.
Dude, that's amazing, man. Yeah, I love deep dub. Actually, Blunter S. Swampson from Road Tripping Records, him and I and another couple of
Shout out to Blunter.
Dude, shout out to Blunter.
Is the man.
Dude, he really is, man. I love that dude, man. He's
I'm a workaholic, man. I'm diligent, and that dude put me to work. He definitely put the test on me, and it was fun too. This whole release process with the label with him, it was fun. He's organized. He's friendly. He's just all around awesome, dude. He'll go the extra mile for you and wouldn't ever ask anything in return. He's just an amazing experience working with him. He's awesome.
Dude, for sure, man. I found in working with him too that he keeps me accountable for like just like, hey, finish that tune that I know is basically finished, like he keeps me accountable for stuff, and I appreciate him for it because I live a busy life, and yeah. But
Well,
yeah,
that's a good point, because him and I have a lot in common as running labels. Because that's kind of the whole point too. Is like we're kind of putting a platform or a channel there to do things for them, so they don't have to do that, so they can focus on the craft in which we provided a platform for. So, everybody's got busy lives. It's nice to have somebody to be like, hey man, don't forget about this. We got
Dude,
this
for
coming up,
sure.
like blah blah blah. Like, it's nice to have somebody, keeping you in line, and not for their own personal benefit, but so the machine is, oiled well. And
Yeah, man. And in my experience, like bass music producers, I feel like we make a lot of really cool music, and then a lot of it just will sit on our hard drive, or or like there's some where it's like I just want to play this out for a bit and not like try to release it. But yeah, I feel like I just know so many amazing producers that have like so much music just sitting on their hard drive, and they're like, that
the
sucks.
exact sorry to interrupt you, man. The exact reason why Orphan Records label exists is because, word for word almost, is that this record label exists to provide a platform so artists' hard work on art doesn't sit and collect dust on the shelves. You know what I'm saying? And it's like one of the main reasons why the label is here. And I've noticed too, in my experience too, that self-image plays a huge role in this as well. Excuse me. A lot of artists share similar, mental capacities, mental images of themselves. Lots of second guessings and trying to appease to other people and things like that, and providing something. Giving them an opportunity for their music to reach more ears, so they can be convinced otherwise, because they've convinced themselves that their music is trash because it's reached 27 people, But when it's given a platform on a residual basis where it can get the love and attention it needs, it's like all of a sudden this artist realized, like, oh, maybe I didn't know what I was talking about. Maybe my capacity is greater, which it is. You know what I mean? But it's like it takes that sight of watching something in real time of yours to grow and get love to actually believe in it, So
Yeah, for sure, man. Tell me about when did you start Orphan Records?
So I started Orphan Records September 27th, 2024 was our first release with Schmack Dookie. He's a good friend of mine out of Peoria, Illinois. This will tie in directly with the release through your label. So I had started the label just after coming home from a stint of shows in Missouri. I started in Chicago, had to hit St. Louis, had to go all the way to the Ozark. This show actually, Paint Rave in Knoll, Missouri. That scene is popping too. The northwest Arkansas scene.
Oh,
Unexpectedly huge scene. Shout out Ozark 808. Shout out Relic. Shout out Yes Sir. So I did 5 shows in 6 days. I'm driving my 2019 Toyota Corolla by myself. So I hit this show, no sleep. I'm driving back to try to hit the other show in Missouri on the way home. I still got a show in Chicago at the end of this. And I ended up getting in a car wreck, flipped my car 3 times. I don't know how I survived. It was absolutely insane. When I came to my passenger side window, it was like facing the sky, and I had to, cut my seatbelt and like climb out. And then I woke up in the hospital, and it was insane. So the city that I crashed in is called Neosho, Missouri. Okay, and any Pickler or Orphin fans will know the song Neosho. I released it late 2024, and it was about the car crash. It was about, it's a very muddy, chaotic tune. It's kind of supposed to personify the just overall storm of which, the car wreck was. And so I come home, I find a flight home to Chicago in time. I get out of the hospital, find Relic actually lived close enough to be able to come pick me up, get me to his house to shower. My girlfriend got me a ticket to home. I flew home and was able to make my show in Chicago with my 31 staples in my arm and
Whoa.
10% energy left, but I was like, I'm not missing the show, you know what I mean? But shortly after that, I started the label, I was like, okay, I almost died and I didn't, so I'm gonna do what I think I was destined to do.
Dude, that's
Fast
fucking
forward
cool.
to now, my buddy Alex, who's on this track, Doughboy, has featured on the track I'm releasing through Road Tripping, and me and my girlfriend were cruising on Facebook one day, and I had known Alex, he's a childhood friend, like 10, 12 years old, smoking cigarette butts off the ground, like finding chill spots, you know what I mean, like back in the day. Hadn't talked to him in years. He had released a rap hip-hop track 6 years ago called 2-3, and then just kind of stopped rapping or whatever. But my girlfriend and I were on his Facebook and saw that he was from the Osho, and I was like, oh, I just crashed my car in that city, you know what I mean? It was a crazy coincidence. So I hit him up, and we're talking or whatever, and he's like, yeah, it's crazy that you live in the Osho, and he ends up sending me the lyrics. I was like, yeah, send me the track to your track 2-3 from back in the day. So he sends me the lyrics, and I end up making a song, and the clip in which I turned into the hook of my track was Pardon Me, I Might Crash. And I didn't even think about it until post-production. I'm sitting there and I'm like, I just made this track from my homie in Neo show about the crash, and it was like everything just kind of weirdly, oddly came together with Alex in this track. So it's been a cool experience kind of working on this track too with him.
Dude, that's amazing, man. I got in a car crash recently as well. I was in the hospital. I similar to you. I was I got hit by a drunk driver going super fast. They ran a light and my car fucking flipped, and I was in the hospital for a little bit, and it took me a minute to get well again. And that definitely changed my perspective too on stuff. And I felt for me, I was I just want to do the things, focus on the things that I really want to focus on, and and not regret not doing that. I don't want to yeah, man. So that resonates with me a ton, what you just said, dude.
A lot of it for me too was also the fact that I inadvertently was forced to face several of my fears all at the same time. Nothing I could do about it, you know what I mean? So it kind of forced me to face myself, the universe, and kind of how strong I am, what my gratitude level is, you know what I mean? So it was definitely a test, you know what I mean, for sure. But when I came out of that, it was okay, I am way more capable than I thought that I was. And I faced these fears that, I had been running from, whether subconsciously or not, my whole life, and I'm still here, and they weren't that bad. And now my pain and fear threshold has increased dramatically. So it's I could have been dead. Might as well go all out now.
For sure.
Might as well. I don't know if I could be here tomorrow. It was a blessing that I was here. And the whole Neo show thing with Alex, I'm still trying to understand it as it's unfolding. It was just very odd. That's what brought us together. Almost had me thinking because he lived there, was his energy something that kept me protected too as well. It's why would he move to this random city in Missouri that I just happened to crash at? I don't know. I'm still trying to whip my hand around it. But the song's a banger though. So make sure you check that. February 11th. Get my months mixed up because I got releases.
No, April 11th. It is, right? Yeah, we're in April.
No, I was just joking.
Oh, okay. Dude, actually, you know what? Blunter sent it to me, man, and I listened to it, and it is a fucking banger, dude. It is a great fucking tune, dude.
What's cool is, thank you. What's cool is Alex actually sent it to me too, and he was like, he couldn't give me the raw lyrics, so he just sent me the MP3, so I had to strip the lyrics off of him. And he was like, this sounds 100 times better than the actual lyrics did of the master. I was like, it's like I had to make a big room sound, you know what I mean? But so he was happy with it, and he's revitalized on life now too, you know. I like revamped the musician and artist in him, and he's excited to start making music again, and he liked seeing it in a derivative form take life elsewhere, and it's kind of a beautiful thing to kind of watch him, especially too, you know, over the course of initially talking, obtaining the lyrics, and then being like, here, look what I've created out of something that you thought was, like you said, sitting on the shelves, sitting on YouTube, not getting plays.
Totally.
It's like, yeah, let's do something with it, you know. So it's like, this experience with this track has been definitely a Ferris wheel of emotions and relationships and true colors, and Blunter's an awesome dude. I love working with him. This experience has been awesome for me, especially as somebody running a label. It's really kind of broadened the scope for me. But we share a very similar vision, so we do different things, but we're going towards the same thing. You know what I mean? So.
And
it's a good thing.
What are some of your goals for Orphin Records? Like, you know, immediate goals or long-term goals?
So long-term goals are contingent upon obvious short-term goals, but the long-term goals is the same as the staple of the label is to build a safe space for artists to know that not only is their music loved and attended for, but when they work with somebody with the label, i.e. me, they know that they're getting, you know, my intimate attention. I at least do the album art or collab on album art with the artist on every single track, so they give me their vision, and then I give them an encapsulation of how I see their vision, so we share it, you know what I mean? It's not just, and then we agree on that, and it becomes this Orphin version, you know, something that we share together, that means the same. And so the long-term goal is to just continue to provide a house for artists, primarily those in which are underexposed and unrecognized. And the more Orphin can reach, the more artists be able to obtain who that no longer pertains to. You know what I'm saying? I have artists that I'm friends with that I know are some of the best producers in the world. This dude right here, Rig Rag and Relic. This Relic does some of the best raw mixing I've ever heard in my entire life. Head Stash here, one of the best producers, one of my best homies, one of the best producers ever. You know, and it's like if he's also doing the same thing as well, you know, creating this platform, so, you know, the people who spend so much time and effort and love and passion into something is not just, you know, I tried, didn't work out type thing, you know, or it's not as important as it really is, you know.
Dude, for sure, man. I think that is like so dope, so commendable, and you know, I feel like in you know what I love about like our scene, like the bass music scene, is I feel like, you know, we all push each other to get better, to be good, you know, we help each other out, and it's like such a beautiful thing, and there's so much talent, you know. I think like there's so much like talented people that are drawn to this style of music, like in particular. So I just love seeing more platforms and more avenues for people to get their music out into the world. So dude, big ups on you for making that for people, dude. I think that's like super cool.
Definitely too, and like I think it's important that like a lot of artists who hone in on their craft, have a support system, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day. Like, I know a lot of artists that I've linked up with through Orphan Records who've come to me for submissions or releases, who I've become pretty close with, who rely on me, you know, for other things other than, you know, hosting a track and things like that. You know, we, the ones we could share a vision with, you know, I help them in other areas of their lives, or I can be a support system in other areas of their lives, you know, and it's sometimes a lot of all it takes is like knowing that there's someone there who supports you on days where you don't, you know what I mean?
Completely.
On days where you don't feel like doing something, there's someone there who says, it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? We got stuff to do. Get up, let's go, you know?
Hell yeah, dude.
It's all right, you know? So it's like, it's more or less, I want to create a space where it's called Orphan Records because it's the artist trying to find a home, trying to find a like-minded people because they're tired. It's hard doing stuff by yourself. And I actually did an interview with Canvas Rebel magazine, shout out D Harmonics, and I had said the same thing, that if they had asked me if there was one resource that I knew that I had prior, and I said people. If I knew how impactful people, networking, and education, wisdom through people would be, I'd be a lot better off. So it's like I'm trying to provide that for everybody else. Not only is like am I creating this family of like-minded people. You know, not everybody comes on to Orphan if you're malicious, you know what I mean? There's been artists that we haven't continued on with, you know what I mean? And it's important that they are able to take my network and utilize my resources, being a part of my family now here, who's also part of his family and his family and his family. So somebody who's had no outlets of exposure, no outlets, and they don't know how to market, they don't know how to promote, they don't know how to do this, they can make a track. A construction worker doesn't know how to run a business, he knows how to build a house, you know what I mean? So it's like, now all these resources are at their availability with a family with the same vision. And the bigger the Orphan grows, the more network, more things they can learn, more artists that they can talk to. It's a mycelium effect of just consistent data and information being back and forth, as long as those who are contributing are not stopping the network, you know?
Dude, fuck yes, man. Pickler, it was great talking to you, dude. Is there anything that you want to like shout out, here real quick, where people can find you, where they can find Orphan Records?
Orphan Records. Check it out on Insta. SoundCloud is popping right now. Random releases on Orphan Records, spontaneity and anonymity is part of the record label. I can't pronounce that word. So you won't know when they're coming, but they're coming. Shout out to Blunter. Shout out to Road Tripping Records. This has been an amazing experience. Also shout out to my own Orphan Records label, Collective Conscious Records. Shout out to Couchlock Collective. Shout out to D Harmonics. Shout out to Overlooked Recordings, a new collective coming out. I know they just released Grime, who is also an artist on my label, Grimey, who's got 2 tracks on my label as well. You should check it out. Overlook Recording, he's got 2 tracks as well. That's 4. Boom, take you until lunch to listen to them. Keep you busy. Shout out Headstash. Shout out Belushi. Shout out Doughboy. Oh, and my newest Orphan, Ooh, Dr. Ooh, welcome to the fam, baby. Ow! He didn't know I was going to do that. Most importantly, shout out to my man Squirrel, who Road Tripping just released. We also got a collab coming out on Collective Conscious Records on July 15th, so don't miss that. Check out Squirrel he's everywhere with everybody, so you'll find him. Sorry about my finger in your face.